For over 15 years, High Point Hummer has been providing a variety of unique and scenic off-road family tours in Moab, Utah. A privately owned and operated local Moab business, they pride themselves in offering training and experienced guides with top-of-the-line Hummers that are outfitted for your ultimate safety, comfort, and enjoyment. Check them out. They guarantee their tours will be a high point of your vacation. Their professional guides will take you to explore the backcountry with new, easy-to-drive ATVs. Play in the sand dunes, discover dinosaur bones, visit spectacular vistas, and explore the remains of ancient civilizations along the way. Our guide was Nick Oldham. Was a friendly and knowledgeable guide who didn't waste our time, but was great with information. So we were off to experience the scenic beauty of this true last American wilderness.
This first ride, we're going out to the Monitor Merrimack Trail. It's about a 30-mile loop with beginner and intermediate riding, but there is some advanced obstacles out there as well. It's very scenic with big towers, big buttes, and sandy washes. Today we're going to take the Razor 4-seat Robbie Gordon edition as well as the brand new Razor XP.
Trying out the new 4-seat Robbie Gordon Ranger Razor, putting this machine through its paces, is Pam Curd and Maggie Clevenger. It's a mother and daughter team duo who's been riding before on Sling and Dirt in the deep mud, the frozen creek beds, and the steep mud terrain. But they have never seen these machines, and they have not experienced the rocks and the sandy terrain of the great American West.
I've never driven the Polaris Razor 4-seater before. I've just driven in the regular Razor, but I don't expect it to be too much different. Maggie and I have ridden in the mud, on the rocks, a little bit of everything.
Me and my mom, we're more mud girls, but can't wait to try out riding in the desert.
High Point Hummer and ATV provided Our Lady riders with brand new 2011 Robbie Gordon Edition 4-seat Razors. They delivered it right to the trailhead and provided helmets, goggles, cold water, everything a first-time driver in this desert might just have left behind. The girls wanted a scenic ride, but at times they both had a need for speed.
Out where we're riding today, there's some stretches of sand, and when you come up on those stretches of sand, you see a good opportunity to throw some gas pedal in and see how fast those Razors will really go.
Seeing the scenery at 72 miles per hour in this great handling ride made the day a true adventure. They kept the hammer down, and with the extended wheelbase, it gave them added stability with no loss of performance.
Driving the desert's more my style. I mean, when I get to drive at home, it's always fun, but I like faster things, and driving the desert's definitely faster.
We found a great guide at High Point Hummer and ATV, Nick Oldham. Nick likes to play in these Razors, so we're really looking forward to that. Nick seemed to know a lot about the area, could tell us a lot about the rock formations and stuff that we were riding, so we learned some today too.
And so all of this rock out here is what we call petrified sand dunes. So about 180 million years ago it was sand dune blowing back and forth, and then it was buried under more rock. About another mile of rock it moved in on top of this layer, and that compressed it into stone. And since then, that whole mile of rock has eroded away down to the ocean, and we're left back down to this Navajo sandstone. And so we'll get these little air pockets in it, and just as the freeze thaw of water inside the rock kind of moves it apart and breaks it apart, and then there's actually little critters down in there.
Nick showed the lady riders all about speed. Late in the afternoon, he hinted at some different trails that would lay in store for everyone the next day. The infamous and famous Slick Rock Trail.
I've ridden with my mom everywhere when it comes to stuff like this, so she handles the Razors better than most boys do, so riding with her, I'd rather ride with her than most.
Maggie and I really enjoy riding together. Get a little competition in there sometimes. Maggie wants to drive, but Mama wants to drive. Nobody wants to give the steering wheel up, so it's kind of a competition to see who's going to get to drive the most.
Maggie is patiently waiting for her turn behind the wheel.
But I'd definitely rather be driving because I think my driving's better than hers. But let's not tell her that.
High Point stresses that the Polaris RZR is the only off-road vehicle that they have tested, which they allow a novice rider to tackle this terrain as a driver. In this terrain, the RZR's performance and safety features are designed for maximum off-road fun.
The reason we've chosen those pieces of equipment today is they're the top of the line, best equipment we've found out there. We run the Polaris models because they've held up the best for us. They also offer the smoothest ride and most handling capability. The town's right down here towards the mountains, and those are of course the La Salle Mountains. They're up around 12,700 feet tall, and that's why it was so cool when you woke up there this morning. And then just straight down from the tallest mountain, you can see these cliff faces that the sun's shining on. That's the Courthouse Towers area of Arches National Park, and then as we traverse left, you have the windows section poking up, and then Fiery Furnace is down on the other side of the hill there. And then as we come up even further, if you look really carefully on the skyline there, you can see Skyline Arch that's inside Arches National Park, and just this little ramping rock that comes up and you can see through it.
I really enjoyed this 4-seat RZR. I'd never driven one of those before, only the regular RZR. It wasn't different. It was very easy handled, just like the regular RZR. I liked having that extra length on it with some of the rocks and stuff that we were climbing. I always feel safe in them, so I really enjoyed it.
So I guess anytime I get to ride a RZR, I'm gonna do it. Just have fun with it and always take my chance.
The desert in Moab has something for everybody. The speed run through incredible scenic landscapes was exactly what the Sling and Dirt girls were looking for. The famous Slick Rock Trail in Moab is up next on Sling and Dirt. Don't go away.